Hi there guys, and welcome back to the Red and Blue Site YouTube channel. Time for another quick Palace preview, rapid one. Obviously we had a rapid quickfire preview after the game we had on Wednesday. We now got one tomorrow on Saturday. I'm filming this on the Friday. It's going up in a few minutes. Obviously, game against Newcastle coming up, and that's what I'll be previewing. But just off the back of the Wednesday game, I think overall, amazing occasion. I think anyone who was there would say it was fantastic support from the away end, and it was really loud as well. Kept the sound very well, the new Spurs ground. But just a really disappointing performance on the pitch. It was a boring game, which I said in the vlog that I wasn't unhappy with. I thought that was the right tactic to go with for that sort of game. You've got to try and silence the crowd, which we did for large parts of the game. You've got to try and frustrate the Spurs side and look to counter and get something on the break. So I wasn't against that idea. The only problem was when we got the ball, we either just hit it long, hopeful long balls, gave it away easily, and there was no counter-attacking threat whatsoever. Now, a large reason for that was because of the way Spurs played. They played very well, put us under pressure. And as soon as they lost the ball, they won it back very well. But it was just, when you look at certain performances this season, like the City game when we were so good on the break away from home, I know it's a different sort of game and a different sort of scenario, but you know, when you see performances like that away from home, and then in this, which is a pretty big game, this one, you thought this was a good chance, especially at 1-0, there was a chance that they sat off a bit and there was a chance to go at them, and really we waited until 80th minute when Roy made the first sub, which was ridiculous again. It frustrates me every time he waits forever when we're in a losing or things aren't going our way. It always seems to be those sort of games where he takes forever to make subs, and just frustrating we didn't take the game by the scruff of the neck, because I thought we could have done something. But hey ho, and I know there's a lot of anti-Hodgson stuff that was on Twitter and social, and at the game I heard some of it as well. I can understand the frustrations, but I want to try and stay positive. Preview this Newcastle game. Obviously, we're 36 points currently. Newcastle are one place below us on 35, so could be a change in places if things don't go away. The main thing for me, my opinions, of course, your thoughts may differ, and that's the good thing about this, doing obviously the YouTube channel. In the comment section you can discuss your points. You can, obviously when I do live streams, bring up your points in live streams, and I'm happy to listen to all kinds of opinions. There's no wrong or right answer. I don't think that's the beauty of like the fan chat that we have. But in my opinion, I think that it's about the performance. Totally about the performance. We've got to play better than we did against Spurs, much better, and it's really important we just don't lose it. I'd say I'd be okay with a draw. Ideally, we've got to win it, but if we can draw and play well, I'm highlighting that point quite a bit because I think it's really important that we put in a good performance and kind of lift people up a bit after the Spurs game, and also try and build up some momentum towards the end of the season. We've got, what, 6 games left. Build up some momentum so that when we go into the summer, that we're on a bit of a high, and we can hopefully, that can hopefully lead on to next season. Performance is key. So for me, I'm going to start off with starting lineup and then talk about the game a bit more and how I feel we should approach it and my thoughts for the preview. Guaita was arguably man of the match, made one of the best saves I've seen this season. Went at 2-0 down, did very, very well against Lucas Moura, that save he made on Wednesday. He obviously starts. Wan-Bissaka, I'd stick with the centre-back partnership. For me, man of the match on Wednesday was Tomkins. I thought defensively he was brilliant. The full-backs, I think Van Arno had another one of his off days, which was a shame after he played one of his better games against Huddersfield. Just seems to be, sums up our team really, so inconsistent, and that's the way we are this season really. I don't know how we change that. I don't think we can change that. Consistency is a real weird one. You've got to kind of get a result and build from that, but then even when we get a good result, it seems like we just throw away a result in the next game or something like that. So it's very hard, the consistency issue. I don't know really how we approach that. Obviously, if you have thoughts or comments on that, put them below. But I'd go Wan-Bissaka, stick with Tomkins and Kelly, because as I said, I think as a partnership they defended pretty well against Spurs. Like first half there were 0-0 and there weren't really any clear-cut chances that Spurs had, but they defended pretty solidly. And then Van Arno left back. Midfield, so if we're going, I don't think he'll do, away from home he won't do what I think what I'd like to see, which is a 4-4-2 system. You know, really go at them and show a bit of intent and like change, and that will surprise Benitez, I think, because it'll make him have to change his game plan as well if he sees we're going at 2 up top. I don't think Roy will. I think that Roy will go 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. I think Chiarte, Luca and Maya would be my starting 3. MacArthur did have an off game. The midfield wasn't great against Spurs. We lost a lot, and Luca and Van Arnold were both at fault for the first goal, which was probably the turning point in that game. Obviously at 0-0, and then that was the first goal. But I'd go for that 3 if I was Roy. But if we go 4-4-2, which I'd really like to see against, for the reason I'm about to bring up in a minute with our striking options, I'd probably have Luca and Maya, or Luca and Chiarte as the 2 in there. Maybe Luca, Chiarte a bit too defensive. Maya's a bit more of a box-to-box, or MacArthur, so one of them coming in instead of Chiarte. But I think he'll go 4-2-3-1. Zaha, Townsend out wide with Batshuayi up top if we go 4-2-3-1. If we go 4-4-2, which I'd like to see, Zaha, Townsend out wide, Benteke, Batshuayi up front. And the reason I want to see 4-4-2 is because I think Benteke, the last few games, has made such an impact off the bench. It's been really positive to see, because obviously he's had a tough time in the last few seasons. So to see him making now a real message out to the fans, he's come back from an injury, come off the bench a few times, hasn't really done it, and it's been sums his last year and a half, 2 years up, really. He's been all over the shop, and I do think he will go in the summer. But last couple of games, he's been brilliant off the bench. He's been a real turning point. He's linking up play, making good runs. Was unlucky not to score against Spurs. I think that everyone says what a miss, but I think the ball was just a bit behind him. So to dive and to kind of like hook it back with his neck was going to be very tricky there, but he did well to, you know, make that run and to get that space. So for me, I'd start him and Batshuayi up top. Obviously, both called up for the Belgian squad, the last international break, so they know how to play with each other, and they know the pros and cons of, you know, both players. So why not stick them both up top, see how it goes? We've done it briefly earlier on in Batshuayi's loan, around January, February time. But we haven't really started with those 2 up top, you know, and I'd love to see how we do against a team around our quality, which Newcastle are. They're only a point behind us. Go for it. Why don't we go for it? And it will show a great message to the crowd, I think. It will show a new attacking style from Roy that we probably haven't seen for a while. And, yeah, as I said, when he's come on, he's deserved to start Benteke. Whether you love him or hate him, the last few games, he's warranted a start, and we're not going to drop Batshuayi, so play them together. So that's what I would do. As I said, as the game will go, it depends how we set up. I can see Roy, as much as I want a 4-4-2, I can see Roy sitting deep. So I can see us, you know, doing a similar sort of approach to Spurs, but hopefully with a bit more intent and a bit more press, line a bit higher up the pitch. Similar sort of strategy, because I think Newcastle will be playing that strategy as well, as they have for most of the season. Benitez is very big on being very defensively solid and frustrating and hard to break down, and looking with pace with Richie, Kennedy, Jose Perez and Rondon up top to put balls in the box. I think he's had a really good loan at Newcastle. He was a player I thought that we could have looked at when he became available in the summer, but not to be. But he's had a good season. And that he's the sort of hold-up man that they need, and he's obviously very good at linking the play and getting on, and his goal-scoring record's been good for them. So I think that will be their main thing, is trying to be fairly direct and quick when they get the ball, Newcastle. So obviously we got the players that can deal with that. It's just about how we respond, and I think that there will be points of the game where it will be very end-to-end, especially if it's maybe 1-0 to either side. I think the game will start to open up a bit, but I can see it being quite, I wouldn't say boring, but I hope it's not boring. I think it's all about how we approach the game. If we can show some intent, some press, as I said, getting players forward, bodies forward when we attack, unlike against Spurs when we may as well not have had a front 3 because we were that, you know, irrelevant in the final third. That's what's key to me. So it'll be interesting to see how we go. Score prediction, I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm going to go 2-0 Palace. Clean sheet at St James's Park. I think that's going to be very hard because it's a tough place to go, especially the run of form they've been on. They had a poor result, I think. Poor result against Arsenal, although they created a few opportunities, half chances. So there's a good chance now. I think that, you know, they've got a good side, or Benitez has done well with the players he has, but they're there for the taking if we can go at them. So I'm going 2-0 Palace. That's my prediction. Of course, guys, comment below your thoughts. If you enjoyed the preview, give it a like. Share it as well across social to get it out to some more Palace fans and to more fans, Newcastle fans as well. If you're interested, obviously put your thoughts below if you're watching. I'll see you guys next time. I will be vlogging the game tomorrow, hopefully. I will be at St James's Park, but I will be... my dad's managed to get tickets through work links in the like executive box area, you know, the corporate section. So I'm going with him in the corporate bit at St James's Park, not in the away end. So the vlog may be shorter than usual. I may have less of a reaction to things because I'll be around, you know, it's very, you know, quiet and corporate. So I think I will be trying to vlog as much as I can, show you the experience, what it's like up in and around that area of the ground. So I'm very much looking forward to it. So that will be happening tomorrow. So obviously look out for that tomorrow. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Your support's been brilliant over the course of the season, coming to the closing stages now. Hope you enjoyed the game tomorrow. Fingers crossed we get a result, and I'll see you guys next time.